Okay, so this is going to be a quick video on patching bugs, issues, or adding features to existing mods without access to source code or various other things. Even if you have access to source code, this still works. Now, really quickly before I start, I'm not responsible for anything you do with this technique or anything else. If you patch something and break it, that's your problem. If you get yelled at or even pressed with legal issues over patching somebody else's stuff, that's your problem. Um, some mod developers do not like the idea of people messing with their source code, and they may try going down a legal path with it. Though keep in mind, if they ever do threaten legal issues, they don't really have a lot of grounds for that. But then again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my advice on that. But the process for doing this is really straightforward. I use Eclipse. It doesn't matter what you use. Eclipse I've just found to be the easiest to work with when it comes to patching. It is more forgiving than I don't know how many other editors when it comes to compiling code while you're missing like more than 90% of the libraries. So the first part about patching is figure out what you want to patch. For example, I'm working on Project E. I have a client who requested to do this, and this is the reason I sparked up this video is like, hey, I haven't made a video on this before, yet I do this probably twice a week. I patch people's stuff. But you pick your mod, then what you want to do is you want to get the jar and you want to try to get the source code. If you can get the source code, this makes your life a little bit easier. If you cannot, well, you're going to have to get more inventive. The second part of this is you want to go get Jaded GUI. This is a graphical decompiler. Now you can use any decompiler, but I prefer to use this one. What you want to do is you want to open up your Project E, which I've got it on the desktop because I'll make multiple copies. It's a really good idea while you're patching, make a copy that you're not going to touch, a copy you're going to use in your workspace, and then a copy you plan to patch. Because if you mess up, you copy that original version, which you're not going to touch, you're just going to copy it. And then in case you mess up your workspace, you don't want to use the one you're using in your workspace. I've broken the workspace version a couple times. But opening up Jaded GUI, you open up your thing, you browse through the files. Say, in this example, my client wants me to patch how the ECM value in Project E is calculated via broken items. The current equation, what it looks like from what he gave me, nerfs down the ECM value very heavily for damaged items, and he wants it to be a linear way. So instead of it going down to what he said is goes down to 124 if you have a 65,000 ECM value, he wants it to be like 56,000 or something for a item with like 1 or 2 points of damage on it, which I think is pretty logical. So I'm making the patch, although I would have made the patch regardless. But so first thing you gotta do is you gotta find where you're doing it. Now, saving you all the time of browsing through this, because after all, when he asked me this, I ended up reading through probably 30% of the code before I figured out where it needed patched. Where it ended up needing patched was, if I can find the file, after all, this GUI, even though it's GUI driven, it's not the easiest thing to browse through. So this is what it will give you when you open it up. So ECM helper is what I need to patch. Now you want to grab, regardless if you have access to the source code or not, if you want to make a patch, and being patched, it's a file you can literally drag into the existing jar, you want to use Jaded GUI. Now if you have access to the source code and you're patching the latest version, literally just download the source code, put it in your workspace, and compile a brand new version. It's the quickest way to do it. It saves so much headache and everything. And unless you're doing something simple, then this actually does work out pretty well. But you find out what class you want to do. Then you look through and you go like, hey, well, I want to patch, say, where's the file? I have lost track of where I wanted to patch this at. Regardless, there's basically something in here that I want to patch. Then what you want to do is when you find your class file, you want to File, Save. You want to save the source. Save the source somewhere. So I've already got it saved in here. Now I saved it directly to my Eclipse workspace in here. So I went into this folder and I went in here and I just saved it. Now when you save it in here, sometimes you'll have to fix the path. Like usually when I save in here, I put it in the wrong path. I have to do this. The second part, after you find your class file, you put it in your workspace. Of course, I'm not going to show you how to set up an Eclipse workspace because there's so many videos on doing that. The next part, you want to find what libs you need. And here, at minimum for this one, I need Forge SRGs. It is not always going to be the SRG version of Forge you need. If you're an experienced developer and you've already been messing with mod development, the easiest place to get your hands on this is going to be in your user folder, your Gradle, Catches, Minecraft, Net, Minecraft Forge, and you've got all your versions in here. You go into here, and you want to go. Well, it's in here somewhere. So you'll find your versions in here. If you do not have this, the easiest way to go get these files is to literally go to Files, Minecraft Forge. Then you want to download, I believe, MDKs. Since I don't do it this way, by the way, so this is the reason I'm not familiar with downloading the MDKs. But you want to download the MDKs, and there will be a series of scripts you can run, and you basically just set up a default Forge workspace. When you get a default Forge workspace set up, then you go back to this folder, and you will have this in here, and you want to then link this library into your reference path. Depending on what class file you copy, you're also going to want to grab a few other things. Like you absolutely have to grab the mod itself. This is why I say you need a version for the workspace. Grab it, link it in. How you do this, and this is the same for anything, build path, configure build path, libraries, add external jar, and you grab it. I also had to grab the Guava library from Google because this one uses Google collections.map. It uses a few different spots. Depending on what you want to do, you have to grab that. Now Java is going to be in here by default because Eclipse comes with Java by default. That'll be under your JRE system libraries, which also comes with a few other things that just Java comes with. When you get all that, you get your class file in here. Now all you got to do is then go find what you wanted to patch. In this case, which is why I couldn't find it earlier, is I was looking for get ECM value right here. So I patched this. Now, this is the patch version already. I'm not going to like go through the process of doing this, but one thing I got to note, you're going to want to like grab some tools to figure out what these are. I know what these are already by default. So this is max damage. This is damage. There's a few other things in here. For example, I believe this has subtypes and this is has damage. But there's tools you can get there. There's a bot that sits in several of the Minecraft modding channels and you can just ask questions. You can type in like exclamation mark, like class file or something. I forget the commands. There's tools you can download too. Like if you go to, I forget the name of the website. It's where you download the Minecraft dev kit, which I have never downloaded in like the last 2 years. So I've completely forgot what the website's called. So the tool made by Sarge. Completely have lost it on the name of it, but you Google it, you'll find it. But there's a tool for that. You can grab all that. The easiest way, though, this is the way I almost always do it, and I like this method more than I like any other method of doing this, is literally open your Gradle, go to your caches, Minecraft, Net, Minecraft Forge, the version you're using, SRGs, or not SRGs, unpacked, config. In here is every single conversion from SRG names to readable names. So if I open up like this document and I drag it over to my screen, every single thing I'm looking for is in here. So this function turns into get brightness. This is what would be used to process your code at runtime when you would be developing normal mods. So you could read everything. This is what would result in, if I can go find my workspace, like if I open this up, this is what would result in like if I open up item stacks, that all this stuff is readable. Now in case you'd still get stuff like this. Unfortunately, there's no perfect conversion because this is all manually done. This data file is created by hand by people. They go through and go like, hey, this is what this is, what this is. But if you ever need to know anything, you just go in here. This document's got all the methods in it. There's one for the fills and like other stuff. So fills is all you need mainly. So let's actually open up. I can show you an example of this. Go to Eclipse, copy this, open this, Control F, put this in, find next. Right there, get max damage. Easy as pie. But after you get all this patched and you figured out like what all the functions are and you've got everything written out, so I've got this written out, like I changed the multiplier, changed the results, done all this stuff already that the client wants, although I'm waiting on payment from him before I give him the patch. Of course, I also got to test this. But the next step after this, you literally just want to do project. I do a clean every time I get ready to build. And then this will build after it's done. It's really quick. Normally there'll be like a progress bar down here telling you how long you gotta wait for building, but it's instantaneous because you're only compiling this class file. This is the reason why I prefer using Eclipse. This is the reason why I prefer to do it this way. Is only one class file to compile, and it doesn't
Oblivion
care.
said, "Oh, $20 is fine."
Well, that was the client saying he's okay with paying me. But once you get everything set up, or yeah, get all that stuff
Oblivion
done.
said, "Yeah, leave the enchant and bonus."
Okay, I gotta turn Discord off one of these days while recording. But let me go find my patches here. So once you get all this done, you get everything set up, you get everything coded. You want to go in and you want to go into your Eclipse folder, your bin, and go find the class file. There you go. There's your patch, and you're done. All you have to do is copy this in, and you just put it right in the jar file. So now if I go make a copy of my jar, we'll put it in here just for show you guys. And you always want to note that this is edited or this is patched. That way you don't accidentally forget, and then if somebody else is coming through your mod pack later or something, they go, hey, this is patched. Now, if you can leave them notes like what you've patched as well, that would be pristine. That would help people understand what you're doing. But it's not necessary, but I do it as well here. But I can throw this in here, patched it in, and all I gotta do is go test it, and that's it. That's how you patch other people's mods. Now I'll make another one of these videos probably later explaining it in better detail and probably show the whole process next time I go to patch something. But that's it for now.